Okay, here we go.
All right, the screen.
Oh, the screen is acting up. There we go. Is it working for you?
Hi.
Hey. Hello, everyone. Whoa. I had everything hidden for a while.
Okay.
We're back. It's time. It's been a week since beta ended. So first things first. Thank you everyone who participated and everyone who provided feedback.
Am I praised? Okay, I was praised a little bit.
Okay. Let me double check Discord. There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it?
Something's wrong. What's going on?
That's weird. Let me double check. So Discord is working fine, and I see you now. Oh, there we go. It's it just needed a little bit of nudge. The technology these days, it just needed a little bit of nudge. That's all.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, we have you, and yeah, back to our track. Everyone who participated in the beta and provided feedback, thank you so much. The team is reviewing all feedback and working hard to make changes accordingly, and make improvements accordingly. Of course, Jin Sang, do you have anything you'd like to share?
Nothing more than just thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for the precious feedback you guys provided us. Those really just like the CB1. There were a lot of feedbacks and there were a lot of improvements we made. And CB2, I'm sure there are a lot of feedbacks. I've covered all the feedback. I've let them more, and I'm sure that we will have improvements over time. And at the launching day, you will see the improvement.
Yep. Yeah. We're the team here at Ocean Drive is also looking forward to all the changes based on the feedbacks. For those of you who did participate in beta 1 and beta 2 probably noticed that a lot of the changes in beta 2 were based on beta 1 feedback. So your feedback, your valuable thoughts and input makes a difference. Just want to make sure I mentioned that. Yep. Cool. So with that, we have some new changes brewing for the game, so we want to definitely share those. So we'll just start right away. Here we go with the first one of the bigger changes, I'd say, is some cutscene changes. These are going to be still shots from the beta 2 build on the left, and then what's in the works on the right. Jin Sang, can you tell us what's going on here?
Okay, so in CB2, there was some we call these the left ones, the come and go the scenes. We call this level 1 cutscenes in development process. And we've had these level 1 cutscenes come and go during the early stages of the game, and we know that we had a lot of feedback, and we know that users got some confusion on the way of the presenting how we present the the story, and it kind of not showing enough situations and need some explanation on what's going on, and a lot of people got confused on how we did this. So I wanted the cutscenes to be well presented, and that's why we have this cinematic cutscenes. We call this like a level 3 or cinematic cutscenes on the right side. So on the right side, if you look at the screenshot, it's more like a more like a cinematic, So it gives more detailed explanation over on the situations, and it will be better for you to understand what's going on, early stages of the game, the story wise.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
From a creative and like development perspective, you don't have to give us like specific numbers, but I would imagine the level 3 cutscenes on the right would take a lot more effort and time compared to level 1 cutscenes on the left. Is there like an estimate of like how many times, like what, just hypothetically, like 3 times more time and resources, or like
As it's just something we can measure. I mean, it depends on each scene. I mean, in CB1 we did all the cinematics,
Mhm.
and I mean, maybe you haven't played the CB1, right?
Unfortunately, no.
So for those guys who remember our CB1, there were a lot of cinematic cutscenes, but those cutscenes weren't really like a polished, and the animations and the animations, and there weren't any voiceovers. But so if you put all that together, it's way more like complex and difficult to and it takes a lot of time to make it perfect for the like a presentation of the story. So this is why we changed it to level 1 cutscenes. But then there are, in some cases, there are situations with story in some point where people got confused. So for those parts that are confused
Mhm.
and confusing
Mhm.
and difficult to understand, will be replaced to the level 3 cinematic cutscenes,
Mhm.
so that you will have better understanding.
Gotcha.
And it's not only these scenes,
Mhm.
but there are like a lot of cinematic cutscenes over time. So I'm sure there will be better understanding of the story. I won't say there won't be like any more like a misunderstanding or any more confusing. I mean, whatever we do, like there will be. I'm definitely sure that there will be some people who get confused, but we are trying to make it as best as we can.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's hard to, please literally everybody. So that makes sense. So I guess what it sounded like is also, it's almost like a strategic choice of like which cutscenes you end up with a level 3 cutscene and which ones remain as level 1. But yeah, it makes sense that level 3 cutscenes, because it combines a lot of different elements. I mean, even the screenshots, the still shots here show a lot more characters, a lot more like environment and things that we can totally see. It takes a lot more effort and time. So that makes sense. Thank you for sharing the creative side of things.
Okay.
Cool. And then another new change that I heard about is we got a new chapter title scene. Can you tell us?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. So this is something. There were some feedback over on this topic as well.
Mhm.
That people thought that the chapter introduction scene was way too simple, and we already knew this, but we just didn't have enough time to put those in a CB2. But this is the concept of how we're gonna present this. So this is gonna tell us the number of the chapter and the title of the chapter, and then in on the center there's the map on the screenshot, right? But then this will be replaced to some images of this chapter, whatever.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not sure what's going to be, but
Mhm.
we're gonna pick something that's going to be impact enough to tell you what's going on. So this is going to be what will be on next version of our game.
Gotcha. So it'll be something that represents the upcoming chapter, almost like a little teaser, right? Gotcha. That makes sense. Oh, and by the way, sorry, this one I did forget to mention. Everything that we share, especially the new ones, are either mock-ups or concepting stage stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So please note that everything we're sharing, like a lot of these are early stages of even planning phase. So things are subject to change, especially during development. There might be further changes. Some things might not be the same as what we're sharing right now. So just a big disclaimer out there that what you see right now is all work in progress. So these don't necessarily represent what it's going to look in the final version. So just bear that in mind, please. And I do see that we have the chapter number too. It says chapter 1 or episode 1 in Korean. So additional information being shown in the chapter titles. And we already have someone saying it looks great.
Yeah, it I think it will look great. I'm
Awesome.
sure. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll look forward to what it actually looks like in the game once it's in there. Next one up is the wanted posters, which were shared before. But there is a plan potentially of adding a detailed information view, is what I'm looking or what I'm seeing. Jin-san, can you lead us into like what's going on?
Well, we had like during the CB2, we had like a books and some object that's interactable on camp, and this is one of the interactive object that you can you can meet at camp, and so this is like the concept of how we're gonna present the wanted poster. Yeah.
That's cool. Yep. So it will not just end with the poster visuals, but it will actually contain the information accordingly as well.
Yeah.
That's cool. And just a rough estimate, if there is, like, how many can we find like in each chapter? Is there like a general plan?
There isn't like specific number for each camp. Just that we're just gonna put like whatever we thought that is relative to that camp or episode or chapter. We are putting it. Yeah.
Is it gonna be like a like a treasure hunt? Will it be like kind of, or like a scavenger hunt where like it's like hidden, or will it be like more visible and out in the open?
Well, we had a little bit of a mark on the camp map.
Oh, okay.
Where we had a circle thing that you could so that you could find something there.
Right.
So and we had some shining effect on like object that could be interactable. So we are trying to add more of those and have those something like something fun to read.
Gotcha.
It's not like something that you have to go and find it. Like it's not something you must go find it and read it. You have to read it unless you wouldn't understand the story at all. But we are just putting those things for you to understand better the world.
Gotcha. And these will be marked on the minimap with the little yellow circle area. Chungsu noted that there is a bit of noise when I speak.
I think there's just some construction going on. Can I just go and close my window?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you, Chungsu, for noting it.
All right, I closed.
I hope it's not too hot.
But the noise is still there.
Oh, okay.
There's just some construction going on.
Gotcha.
So
it's actually
sorry.
Oh no. It's actually not picking up anymore, so I think it's good.
All right, that's good.
Awesome. I hope it doesn't get too hot in your room.
All right.
And yeah, thank you, Jungsu. Awesome. It's all good now.
All right, let's move on.
Yep. Next we have some UI updates. First thing's gonna be the training or the sparring UI. We have one before, and then the image changed to the one after. It'll cycle through. Jin-san, can you tell us what is going on with these UI?
Yeah, these UIs were we are, if you know, we have been changing the UIs to our current state of the UI
Mhm.
from the previous like CB1 and CB2. Like we tried as much as possible, but we couldn't change all of them,
Makes sense.
like including those with the training UIs and
Mhm.
others as well. But these are ones that we're gonna change to look like what it is we have. So
Gotcha.
we are trying to make it you know what should I call it? Consistent
Mm-hmm.
to current UIs.
That makes sense. So these will be more like cosmetic or aesthetic changes that will
Mm-hmm.
be get these UI more on par with, excuse me, more on par and consistent with other parts of the game. To
Yeah,
kind of
we are just fitting the styles
yes.
to be consistent.
It's the look and feel type of changes. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. Will the quick time events still be there for the sparring events?
Mm, well, this is something now. This training thing isn't really like a mandatory thing.
Mhm.
So I think we can just leave it there.
Okay. Yeah.
To have just for fun of it. But
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah. No, there were times when I made it, and there were times when I didn't. I just remembered like quick time events are always interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah. So cool. We have some additional UI changes also in the settings menu specifically. This one has a lot of images. It'll cycle through the controls section and then gameplay settings, audio settings. Jin-san, can you tell us what your team has worked on in this part of UI?
Yeah, this is the same thing. We are trying to be consistent to the style of our UI, and there may be some other additions on the options as well, like more options.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The screenshots are in Korean, but if I may spoil, and of course, sorry, please remember these are all mock-ups or concept stage stuff.
Yeah.
It may look different in the final game, but the graphics options actually specifically has advanced settings like I believe the number of like characters shown in like one view or something like that, and then like the texture details and things like that. So all of you who were looking for that, it seems like it may be there. So that was new.
Yeah,
Go ahead, sorry.
we are trying to add more options, so that we can meet the users' needs.
Yeah. So there will be you will have more detailed settings that you can tinker around with. And then there were some changes made also to the save and load screens. Jin-sang,
Okay.
take it please.
So we had a lot of feedback on like there aren't much information on the save and load screen. Yeah, I think in CB1 and 2 we only show the title of the scene. I mean the title of the chapter, so you probably would know what's going on, like where you are. So we are adding the chapter number and chapter name, and like maybe if it's like you're trying to end, you're in the entry point of the camp or something like during the cutscene progress something. So we are trying to add more details in the save file, and also there were feedback that the users couldn't actually remove or delete the save slot. So if you look at the bottom menu, there's a button where you can remove the save file.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The slot. Yeah.
I'm one of those people who save like every change. So that's a welcome option to have, because I'm the one who saves even if there is autosave. I save when I enter the camp, like after major quests, like right before advancement ceremony, right after advancement ceremony. So being able to remove individual saves will definitely be helpful for me. And yeah, as Chinsung mentioned, there will be a lot more information than just like this quest in progress. Like the screenshot, the mock-up, The current
Mhm.
mockup actually shows like if it's an autosave, it mentions it's a save point as opposed to like a manual save that you triggered or you created. And then like it actually says camp camp entry, as in like it's the autosave created immediately when you enter the camp, as opposed to like other quests in progress or like cutscenes that are in progress. So there will be a great more level of detail that you'll see in this UI, that gives you a lot better idea of where you left off and where you're picking back up. And then another set of UI change was with the camp conversations. This one specifically is for sharing a meal, right?
Yeah, we are going to look at the interactive conversations. So like the dialogue that you're gonna talk with the character, and the next screenshot will show you the gift option. So we are trying to, this is the same thing as the same work that's going to fit the style of the UI, and trying to be consistent. So yeah, let's
Gotcha.
show them like others.
Okay, yeah, the gifting UI, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Here it is. Go for it, Chinsang. You can.
So we have a lot of like icons in the left, and like more detailed explanations in UI.
Yep. And there is as you can already see in this mock-up, I guess, screenshot, that there is a place for even additional flavor text or descriptions for each giftable
That's right.
item, right?
What this is all about, like we are going to have some description on the gift, what this gift is all about, what kind of person maybe like this kind of gift. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, so you'll get a lot more information than just looking at the icon or the name and having to do the guesswork. There will be a flavor text and descriptions. Is there like an example description that you can share, or is it a little too early?
I don't remember any of them.
Gotcha. Are there a lot of these items?
Well, there are a lot of them. So I can't really like remember like detailed text.
Gotcha. That does remind me. There was one feedback that I remember mentioning there being, so I believe there were 2 recruitable characters up to chapter 8, Karen and Gabriel, right? And I think the feedback was mentioning just simplifying things. 2 characters up until chapter 8. The entire game has 27 chapters, so will there be like 6 to 7 characters total for recruitable? And Chinsang, is there like a plan for, or if you can share us the details, like how many recruitable characters, like how big the entire game scope will be compared to the beta?
Well, I think I've mentioned this already, but there will be about like 20 to 30 people that you could manage. That being said, I think you're gonna be given like 10 characters like automatically in the progress of the story.
Gotcha.
And that being said, again, that's going to be another like 10 to 20 characters that you can recruit, right? I mean, I could say the specific number, but I'm not gonna say it.
Gotcha. Yep.
Because it could change.
Of course.
Though. I mean, it's not fixed yet. But so far we have let's just say it. So far I think we have a 27 or 6. I think it's a 7.
Okay.
We have 27 characters that you could max to the max. I think you can have it at most. I mean, there are some characters that's going to be gone, or something may happen to some characters. I'm not. I am not sure.
No spoilers.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but so that means it's not just a linear that you will have because you had the 2 characters recruitable at the point of chapter 8, that doesn't mean you're gonna have a 6 recruitable up to chapter 27. That's because you have given already like 10 characters by the time you are at like chapter 8, and I think that's like a lot of introduction to each character. And I don't think I should throw a lot more characters to users to recruit, because I just want you to focus on the characters you're given already. So more characters will be there as you get comfortable with your characters. So that means you're gonna have like 20 or more characters at the maximum, and I think you will have enough, like a pool of the characters. But then it doesn't mean you're gonna be given all those characters, like you have to recruit, or there are some conditions or hidden conditions or whatever conditions there will be. So you will have to, figure it out.
Gotcha. So can we safely think that there will be characters that are, as you mentioned, hidden, so they are not going to be just accessible either through just normal like main story gameplay, or like you would have to meet very specific requirements?
Well, they are not really hidden. They are there.
Okay.
You have to meet some conditions to get them into, like the Karen in our CB2. You have to give her some, you have to talk to her, you have to give some gifts, you have to, raise your, affinity, right? But that's one condition to get her, right? I'm just saying that that's not the only option you're gonna have. There will be some other conditions.
Awesome.
That you will, have to figure it out.
Yes, there will be.
I'm not gonna spoil it.
That makes sense. Yeah, so there will be a variety of ways to recruit these different characters depending on who they are, right? Awesome. That's good to hear. And just to be sure, those up to 27 characters, they will all be eligible for a rapport system, right?
Not all.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it because I think some of them are not, like, like some of them are like joining really late in the
Gotcha.
game.
That makes sense.
Won't have enough time to bond with those characters. So
okay, that makes sense.
I thought that's not just fair. So I kind of not included. I wished not included in the rapport system. So some characters won't be.
Okay, that makes sense. But it's because they are joining too late, or like there is just not enough time, and it's really because it's not fair for the game. Like, if that makes sense, yeah.
For the rapport system is something that we are trying to show, like a relationship between Eden and the character, and we are trying to show what kind of character it is, so like those characters joining too late won't have enough. I don't think we have enough time to present them,
Okay, that makes
sense. Yeah. Cool. I had to make the choice not to include them.
And as you mentioned, as a gamer, I can totally see that it may feel unfair, like just having the character very late and trying to max out something when it's very difficult. Yeah, that can feel unfair. So I understand, and that makes sense. The decision and the thought process makes sense. Thank you for sharing that. Whoa, we blazed through the time. We will save some of the topics we had for next week. Or sorry, not next next stream in 2 weeks. Not next week. No, you will not see me next week. But
oh my god, yeah, sure.
So, we would like to open the floor up for any live Q&A. If you have questions, this is your time. Jin Sang is here to ask both the easy questions and the hard questions. So feel free to share them in the chat if you have any questions.
I do love to hear what player feedback from beta Jin Sang found interesting and surprising, and what changes they are thinking about from them. Well, there wasn't much of interesting or surprising feedback because those are already like given in the CB1, and there wasn't much of like a new. But one thing that surprised me was there were some. One thing that's shocking was there were some feedback. One feedback we talked about this. The one guy, I don't know who I'm not sure who it is, but it was that he didn't want the camp at all. that was something surprising. Maybe he didn't like the wandering around the camp at all, but he just wanted to um, have some combats and story only. So I think for those people who don't want that camp content, I think you can go straight to the main quest. Main quest is all about the story. We had a choice. We had to make a choice to have a main stories in the camp as well. So those main quests is something that you have to see so that you have a better understanding of the story. So if you just do that in the camp, you can just go straight to the battle. So I think that will help. You don't have like all those contents in the camp are not necessary to to finish the game.
Gotcha.
So I mean, it may be a little bit too hard, but if you level up the characters and change the job and do some upgrade on the equipment, I think it's enough to finish the game.
Gotcha. So most of the camp content is actually more optional from the player perspective, is what I'm hearing, right?
Well, yeah, like I told you, like a Lapo system is to have the character more like in-depth character introduction. So we want you to like it's like, hey, how about this character? Will you like him? Kind of
that makes sense.
Kind of system, and the training is something that you may feel like want to make your characters more stronger. That's why it's there, and we have some. I mean, there was some feedback that they wanted some side battles, right? And I mentioned this or in the previous streaming. We will have it, and I just don't want to have unlimited amount of the grinding.
Gotcha.
So you will be given limited amount of the side battles, and that's something for the grinding. So if you don't like the grinding or camp or whatever, you can just go straight to the story.
Gotcha.
And enjoy the story and the battles only.
That makes sense. And so interesting part is there will be grinding, but it won't be unlimited, so that players will only have I guess, let's hypothetically speaking, like just 5 times for a side battle before they can move on to or they have to move on to the next story battle, right?
Yeah. Well, the like when I envisioned this project, like I wanted like the skills and magic. It has a limited amount of the usage, right?
Yes.
And this is the same direction that I have for the grinding the levels. I mean, I love, like myself, I love the grinding. So like I kind of end up playing unlimited amount of grinding, like
Gotcha.
like a Final Fantasy Tactics or other like a tactics game. I tend to make the characters like all characters, all job mastered, and all like 99 level.
Yeah.
And I know how fun it is, but I know how painful it is as well.
That makes sense.
So I thought that maybe I should limit it.
Gotcha.
Like let's just not like let's not make users put into the the swamp of the grinding.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
So,
sense. Yeah, sometimes it's
so
hard to get out of it. So, yep, limiting
yeah.
it makes sense. That's cool. Thank you.
So like the direction is to limit the amount of the whatever is given to you, and you will just have to make choices.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the game. The direction.
So there is planning and strategizing or even prioritizing going on the camp activity level too, or like the skirmish. Okay, that's cool. Thank you. Good to know. Sweet. Do we have any more questions? The floor is open.
Any question?
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah. You're welcome. No problem.
I'm asking my gamer questions with the content, so maybe I'll save some of my questions for the Q&A myself. I shouldn't take time away.
Well, we could talk about the content depths that like something like we talked about the recruitable characters. There were like some user feedback where they were asking like chapter 8 was about like 6 hours long and two recruitable characters. Is it going? Are we safe to make it linear so that it's a 6 times about 3 is 24 hours and 6 recruitable characters, right?
Yeah.
I think the more you play, there will be more time you have to take. Like it's going to take more. I think like in early games, it's only like 10 to 20 minutes per chapter, like one or two. Chapter 1 and chapter 2 took only like 10 to 20 minutes each, right? And the chapter 8, I think it takes about like 1 hour, something like that.
Okay.
So those people were asking like they want more content and more stuff in the camp. Sure, we are going to give you more stuff. We're gonna throw at you. Like, here we go.
Okay.
But, I told you when we were talking about the recruiting the characters, I just didn't want to throw everything at you from the first, from the beginning. Here's all we have. Just get it,
It can be overwhelming. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure if everything is thrown at you, I'm sure you're gonna be really like oh my god, what's going on?
Yep.
So we're gonna throw something like one by one, like chapter 8. There's chapter 7 and 8. You're gonna have something like a recruitable characters. Chapter 9, there's I think chapter 8 you're gonna be thrown some side quest, side battle.
Oh, okay, that's where we'll start. Okay.
Yeah, but we didn't have a chance to include it in the CB2, but sense. I think it's going to be there. So like chapter 7, there's something. Chapter 8, there's another thing. Chapter 9, chapter 10, there's just something new coming up. I think there will be some horse managing horse thing is coming.
Okay.
And the more things will be thrown, so don't worry about it.
More systems even beyond the scope of chapter 8 that people saw. Yeah. And it'll not be just a simple like linear amount of time spent on each chapter, but there is a lot more to look forward to. That's good.
So my expectation is like if you just enjoy like a minimum amount of the content, it's gonna take another like 25 to 30 hours.
Gotcha.
I mean, if you just go straight to the end. But if you go into deep and play like each and everything like slowly, I think it's gonna take more than like 40 or 50 hours.
That makes sense. I personally am in the camp of I love reading the codex.
I think there are a lot of text.
Oh yeah. I enjoy doing that. Yep. So yeah, people like me, if you enjoy doing that, you'll have a lot of stuff to do. I mean, especially since, you know, as we already talked about, I joined late, that I missed CB1. Like even CB2, the first few times I was playing through in the camp, I was just like running around, and I was just like standing next to people, like just enjoying the atmosphere. So yeah, if you like taking things slow like I do, yeah, it'll be much more than just short like quick battle, like story. So yeah, hope everyone gets a chance to see what the game has to offer. Any other questions? Do we have any? Nope.
Question me anything. I'm ready to answer. Come on.
Also, don't feel pressured to like rush anything. Just putting it out there, because we are gonna be here in 2 weeks, not next week. 2 weeks.
If you have question but you just couldn't chat, we will wait another 2 weeks. Don't worry about it.
I mean, yeah, and
or you know we can actually, you can actually put those questions or on our Twitter or Discord, anything. You could email us. Then we could answer it during the streaming.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was about to say the same. Yeah, right.
Yeah, you don't really have to be here to watch us. I know you're watching us in maybe YouTube. I'm not sure, but yeah, if you watch it in YouTube or just question me. Yeah, you could post it question in the YouTube as well. We did it.
Yeah. We are streaming on both Twitch and YouTube. So yes, definitely. We are open. We are and yeah, like if we have questions in between streams, we'll just cover it in the next stream. And I mean, Discord, Jin Sang's actually in our Discord server, so you can even. Is it okay to mention you?
You could directly talk to me.
Yep.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm all open.
Thank you. Yeah. So I guess we don't have any more questions for today, so we can wrap up today's stream here. Thank you everyone for joining us and watching, and thank you Jin Sang for your time and your busy day.
No problem.
So with that,
all right.
Have a great weekend, everyone, and see you in 2 weeks.
All right. Bye.
Oopsie.
Change it.
Sorry.
Redo it.
There we go. Bye.
All right. Bye.